what is the SITE program? Unfortunately, it's laden with acronyms, and the first one is the name of the program, Supporting Innovation and Growth in Healthcare Technologies. So it's a 3-year-long ERDF, another acronym, a European Regional Development Fund program, between 3 main partners. We've got the University of Portsmouth, Portsmouth Hospitals University NHS Trust, who recently, I think in July earlier this year, reached the university status, so had a name change as part of their growing connectivity and joint strategy with the university, and the Wessex Clinical Research Network. The idea of the programme is to support SMEs across the whole of England. So unlike some European funded programmes, we can support businesses across the whole of England as a territory, rather than just the south coast of England around Portsmouth. We're also ring-fenced against Brexit, so unless some crazy decisions are made by those in charge, we shall be continuing with our programme for the next 18 or so months. We're about a year and a bit into the programme. Still plenty of time left to get engaged and for us to provide support to you, and also to access our grant scheme, which I'll come on to in a bit. So we basically work across the whole of the country, and we've got members as far afield as Newcastle, Sheffield, Manchester, Cambridge, London, as well as more local members of the programme. Membership's completely free for SMEs, just need to be able to suffice that you are indeed an SME against the EU definition. I think that's less than 250 staff and a turnover of less than 50 million, I think it is these days. And we can also support startup organisations and those thinking about starting their business in this sector. So I noted a question that we'll probably pick up later in the Q&A section about startup organisations. Really keen to engage with you, really keen to work with you, and it shouldn't be a barrier to us providing some form of support to you to help you on your way to growth. So what are the aims of the SITE programme? So these are kind of fourfold across the 3 years of the programme. We're looking to identify opportunities for SMEs to engage with the 3 partners of the programme. So these would include staff members from the university, academics, as well as support staff from the likes of research and innovation services, who we heard from earlier in Sarah and Guy's presentations. What we're really looking to do there is provide and share information with you initially as a business to expand your horizons and expand your knowledge, to provide you with guidance to access especially the NHS as a marketplace. So what we're really looking to do is help you grow as a business. SITE is a business development programme. So there are a lot of mechanisms that we utilise, and I'll come on to those in a second or two, which we can put at your disposal to help you grow as a business. We also provide more tailored support to SMEs, whereby we can basically help you identify opportunities for direct engagement with clinical colleagues within our local NHS trust in order to provide you with dedicated feedback and diagnostics on your devices, technologies, products and services from an NHS perspective. So the idea here really is to give you more in-depth information about market opportunities so that you can bespoke and befit your technology, services, products into that opportunity, basically narrowing the gap of commercialization for you. We also have funding attached to our programme, whereby we can support your business development costs. As I say, membership is completely free for the programme. It's just a short membership application form, but that would allow the grant scheme to open up to you as a member of the programme, and we can provide 25% support for your business development costs at a minimum of £1,000 grant payable up to a maximum of £25,000. We have a rolling call for applications. I'll come on to a little bit more detail on that in a second or two. So at the first stage, we organise a number of webinars, which are open to all and sundry. Don't need to be a member to access these, but they would basically be delivered by a consultant that we would engage with through the SITE programme to deliver a dedicated 1 hour, maybe 1.5 hour long digital webinar at the moment, hopefully face-to-face when COVID restrictions relax and we're able to welcome colleagues back into the university, especially to our Technopole base at the north end of Portsmouth. But these webinars basically cover business development topics, so intellectual property protection, understanding regulatory requirements, especially the CE marking process for devices, medical devices, understand the NHS as a marketplace, and identifying international business opportunities, as well as exploring government tender opportunities, funding opportunities, and providing marketing masterclasses. So we'd be delighted to explore other topics if you ever feel a need to explore something in depth where you feel that the site program could galvanise a webinar for you, or provide one-to-one support on that topic. Speaking of one-to-one engagement, this is our second stage of support. Basically, we have a very close relationship with an entity called the Portsmouth Technology Trials Unit, the PTTU, which is based at the Queen Alexandra General Hospital in Cosham, just north of Portsmouth City Centre. Their role is to provide engagement with patient and public groups, as well as clinicians, in order to organise, manage and assess technology trials within the trust. So there's a big team over there based at the Lancaster building on the hospital campus, and we would provide engagement with them to assess the capability or the suitability of your products and services to engage in a technology trial within the trust. And further at stage 3, we're really looking at identifying those commercialization opportunities for you from a clinical and medical perspective, not just in the NHS, but in a kind of distributed medtech marketplace. So there we would provide support around protocol development for trials, as well as the design, organisation, feedback and management of clinical trials, technology trials within our trust. So this is really the end stage really of site engagement, whereby you've been able to identify opportunities in conjunction with the university, the clinical research network and the local hospital in order to explore the capability and possibility of a technology trial, and then go through that process of applying for funding, developing protocols, designing the trial and deploying it within the trust's patient and public population. As I said earlier, we have our own grant scheme as built-in part of the site programme. This has a rolling call for applications for members to apply to. We have monthly panel assessment meetings whereby we convene members of the 3 partners of the programme to assess those applications which have come in the latest period. That would consist of a short interview for the company on top of your application form and the quote information that you provided with regards to the costs that you'd like support for. And we have a 2 working day turnaround time for decisions. So whilst our intervention rate might not be as generous as some other schemes, so the likes of the Eye for Eye from National Institute of Health Research, for instance, can cover 100% of costs sometimes, and Innovate UK will have schemes that intervene at about 70%. We have a quicker turnaround time in terms of decision making. So we're really seeking to build partnerships with our SME members and provide you support through this mechanism. In terms of our contact details, I'd be delighted to field any questions you might have. Here are our contact details, so please do get in touch. And yeah, if you've got any questions, just pop them into the chat and we can field those in the later Q&A session.